Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And we are here in beautiful New York. Come take a look at this. So this is my view for the next couple of days, which is really beautiful here. Love it. So in last week's video, we talked about Linux. We also played a game in which we were using Linux commands that we recently learned in order to actually play the game, which is really cool and was a lot of fun. While you were watching the game and you were actually looking at the commands, some of you are probably wondering, what those commands are, what do they mean, and how do you learn those commands so that way when you watch that video, you actually know what they're doing when they're implementing the commands on the command line. So in this week's video, I'm going to show you guys the top 10 Linux commands that our contestants had used in the prior video, and you're going to learn all about them. You're going to learn how to use them, and if you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about as far as the contestants in the game, I'm going to put a link in the video description below so that way you can actually see the game that they were playing. But go ahead and learn the commands in this video first, and then take another look at the game that they were playing in order to utilize those commands in order to get through and escape the OS. So real quick, let's go ahead and check out those commands, and I'll see you guys on the other side. So what is our first command, most popular command? It's pwd. And so what does that mean? PWD stands for print working directory. So if you look at what you see on this screenshot here, I was able to print the working directory. And all this tells you is that I am in home/L Acosta. What does that mean exactly? Well, when you are in the Windows operating system and you're navigating the Windows operating system via folders, so just to give you some example, right? Let's say I'm in this PC over here, and you guys can see that, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And then say if I click the C drive, right? That is equivalent to me saying, hey, I'm going to go to /home. And think of if I click the C drive and there's like a home directory here somewhere. And if I go into that home directory, that's the same thing as me saying CD, or should I say I'm in the /home directory. So what you're looking at here is just a list of directories. Is literally all that is. Another little option here, a big option or something to note on, is that this also shows you the full path. So what does that mean? I don't want to confuse you guys also. I'm going to go very high level here, is that you can actually move around the file system by what's called either a full path, which is saying, hey, this is the place that I want to go. I'm going to give you the entire path of where it is. Or you can do what's called a relative path, meaning, hey, I'm going to give you somewhere that I want to go based on where I am in the current directory. So meaning that, let's say if I want to go to the, I don't know, say the home directory, a full path would be /home. Or let's say, for example, I'm in the home/L Acosta that you see here. If I were to say CD, and we'll go over what CD is in a couple of seconds, and I say ... that is a relative path, meaning, hey, let's go up one, and you basically get to the same spot, which is the home directory /home. So that is the pwd command in a nutshell. Hopefully everyone's gotten that. So here we have the next command, and this is what's called the ls command. So what does the ls command mean? List contents. And so as you can see here in the screenshot, I actually used the pwd command that we were shown in the previous slide, and it shows you that we're in the / directory, which it stands for the root directory. And then I use what's called the ls command, the list content. So you can see that we have a bunch of different items in the / directory. And so the next thing that I'm going to show you guys is that when you're using the ls commands, there's actually flags that you can give it. And the flags are, for example, what you see here, LA. LA stands for list all files in directory and with detailed information. So when you see me type ls-LA, it's literally just listing the same things you see up here with the ls command. But the only difference now is you have very detailed things, such as what date was it created? What is it, a directory or is it a link? What are the permissions of the file? And I don't want to confuse you guys too much as to what our file permissions but they're there and you're going to see it with the RWX. That's what's called file permissions. And later on at another meetup someday, we can talk about what file permissions are. So that is your next popular command, which is the ls command. Moving on to the next one. Alrighty, so we talked a little bit about this one already. It's called the cd command, another popular command. So cd stands for change directory. And all that is allows you to navigate the file system by changing directories. Cool. So as you notice, I'm building on top of all of the commands that we've already discussed. PWB shows us the print working directory. So we're working out of the /home/elacosta. So what did I do here? As you see the second bullet, it moves up one directory. So cd ... and then I did a PWD, which means print work directory. Show me the directory I'm in now. And you can see the difference as instead of being in /home elacosta, I am now in /home. Literally all you're doing is traversing the file system here. So keep that in mind. Now, here's some other things too. Just typing in cd alone brings you back into your home directory. So what is a home directory? A home directory is every user that is registered to any Linux machine has their own home directory, or their basically their own personal directory that separates their directory from everybody else that uses the computer. So keep in mind that, for example, if I have a Linux machine at my house and let's say I have 10 people using it, they all have to have their own personal space. And that's where the home directory comes into play. So when I talk about home directory, that's what that means. So keep in mind, again, we can access your personal home directory as cd, or you can use cd space tilde. That's this little squiggly line you see here. So keep that in mind. And I put a little note here that the tilde will expand to be your home directory. So what does that mean? If I say cd tilde, that turns into /home/elacosta. And that turns into /home/elacosta because that is the user that we're signed into on this particular terminal. If we were signed in, for example, under say JC's name and he had JC, then that tilde would expand into /home/JC. Hopefully you guys all got that. And then the last one you can see here is cd space hyphen, and that basically means move to previous directory. So hopefully everyone's got that and we got it down pat. The next one is cat. So this is the cat command. What does that stand for? It's short for concatenate. So this is a popular command that we use in order to basically just list the contents of a file to the standard output, which is the terminal. So as you can see here, I have a file, and in the file is located in /home/elacosta, and the file is called secret.txt. And so I use the cat command on the secret file, and it shows me the contents that's inside the file. And it's literally says, hey, I'm glad you're learning how to use Linux. Good luck in your Linux journey. So this one's pretty straightforward. The next one is the mkdir command, which is very, very popular. It's something they use all the time, and it's making a new directory. So as you can see here, we're in the same directory again, in the sense that we're in /home/elacosta. I did an ls to show you what's inside of the directory. So it's the secret text. And I want to make a new directory in there. So I just called it new_directory and using the mkdir command. And then once I did that, you see an ls command here, which shows you that it's a new directory. And then it's also the secret file. And on top of that, I even give you the ls command with the flags LA to show me all the directories, and also as well show me any hidden files that are in that directory, which is the /home/elacosta. And you can see the secret file, you can see the new directory, and then all these dot files here are just hidden files. So hopefully everyone's got that. The mv command, which is move, really, really easy command. All this does is it moves files. And on a side note here, not only can you move files, but you can also use this command to rename files as well. So looking at the screenshot here, you can see that same thing. We have the secret file or the secret text file that I created before. And all you're really doing here is you're saying, hey, I want to move the secret text file to the new directory, which I created before using the mkdir command. And then I did an ls, which shows you that the secret file no longer exists. And then I cd into the new directory in order to take a look at if I moved the file correctly, which was the secret file. And you can see that it's there with the ls command. So that's all done. Then on top of that too, you also see that I was able to use the move command in order to rename it. And you can see that in the other screenshot as well. Next command, we have the cp. So cp command stands for copy. And this allows you to copy files from your current directory, or if you give it a full path, you can also, choose any file in the operating system, depending, of course, if you have permissions or not. And then you can move that to a different directory. So here you see that I'm in the /home/elacosta/new directory. There's the secret file that I moved over from the last example. I moved up one directory, which basically puts me at /home/elacosta, and you can see the new directory as I listed it there. And then I copied the secret text file that lives in the new directory, and I called it another secret file. And you can see here that another secret exists outside of new directory. And because I want you guys to understand the difference between the move command and the secret command, I also cd'd back into the new directory and did an ls on that. And you can see that the secret file is still there. All you're doing basically is making a copy and moving it somewhere else, which is very, very different than the move command, which means you're actually moving the file. So keep that in mind. Next command, we have the rm command. This is basically remove, right? You can delete files, you can delete directories with the contents inside of it. But of course, if you're going to do the directory and remove the contents inside of it, you have to use what's called the -r flag for recursive delete. So you can see the screenshot here. We have the directory that we're in, which is the new directory. We have the file that's in there. I move up another directory. I show you that what's available, which is the new directory. We make the copy. It's literally just building on the examples that we had from before. And then we follow it all the way down into what we do, which is remove. And we remove another secret text. And you can see here when I do an ls, and here's the difference, right? When I do an ls here, I have another secret text, I have the delete directory, and then I have a new directory. I basically get rid of the another secret file or the another secret text file. And you can see that that was done successfully because that doesn't exist anymore. And then I do the rm-r command for deleting the directory. And you can see that is done successfully because I only have new directory left and delete directory doesn't exist. So hopefully everyone's gotten the rm command down packed as well. The next command is the touch command. Now the touch command, realistically, what it really does is updates file timestamps. File timestamps is all the information you saw when you guys saw me do the ls-la, and it gives you all the information of when the file was created and all that fun stuff. That's really what it really does. But the thing that we mostly use it for, to be quite honest, is creating new files. So if you actually do the touch command and the file doesn't exist, it actually will create the file for you, and it updates the file timestamps as well. So you can see this capture here where I'm in the /home/elacosta. I do a touch and I call it new file.txt. I do an ls to show me what's inside of the directory. And you can see here that it's the new file.txt and also the new directory. So hopefully everyone's got the touch command down packed as well. Alrighty, we're down to our last two commands. So here we have what's called WC, or word count. And so word count allows you to take a look at a particular file, let's say, for example, and you can see here because I passed the secret file over to it. And what it does is it gives you a count, just like the command says, a word count. So, and it's actually more than just a word count. It actually gives you line count. You can do word count and also character count. So as you can see here, this particular file, and I do a cat on it as well, so you can see exactly what it says. gives you 2 lines, right? So I'm glad is the first line and good luck is the second. If you count the words that are here, you'll see that there's 15 words, right? Is one, glad is another, so on and so forth. And then when you count all the characters, so for example, G is one, O is another, D is another, right? All that is 77 characters. So this does all the work for you and giving you character count, word count, and line count. So hopefully everyone's got that command down. Alrighty, so moving on to the last command here. And the last command is a little bit advanced. So stay with me here and ask me questions if you really don't get this one. But this one is called, it's really what's called the pipe. Not really a command, but we call it a pipe. And so basically what this does is it takes the output of a command and feeds it to the input of a second command. I'll give you an example here. We have what's called the echo command, which basically says, hey, repeat what I say and put it in the output. So we say, hello, how are you today? And you can see that that happens here. And so that is our first program doing something. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put a pipe on it at the end of it, which is what you see right here in the middle. And it's this bar, going up and down. And then we space and do a word count, meaning, hey, I want you to say, hello, how are you today? That's the output. Pipe that output into the input of word command, or excuse me, word count, should I say. And then word count is going to give me the output of that command. And that's what's basically what you're seeing here. So it's one line. There's 5 words, right? Hello, how are you today? That's 5. And then there's 25 characters in total there. So that's how you're able to take 2 commands, put them together in order to create one powerful command. So by now, we just went over the top 10 commands that are used in Linux. And you got an understanding of what that is, how to use them. And I showed you some examples, as you were seeing in the presentation, where people were actually seeing how to use those commands. Now, as mentioned in the beginning of the video, if you are unfamiliar with how to use some of those commands, make sure you check out the other video that I put in the link in the description. And that one is the game that we created, and we had people actually competing, right, to escape the OS, and they used the Linux commands in order to get out and escape the OS. So check out that video and see how you could utilize those commands. But more importantly, stay tuned for more videos on the channel. Remember, we talk all things engineering, technology, and finance. Make sure you also go ahead and like the video if you learned something. Also, share with a friend or a family member, right? We always want everybody to learn. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications as well, so that way you don't miss out whenever we post a new video to the channel. As you're doing all that, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my walk here in this beautiful weather, and I'll see everybody on the next video.